We're live.
Yes. Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. With me tonight is this beautiful woman, Dawn Patterson, whom I've admired for many years because she's brilliant, she's beautiful, and she's a goddess. Really, she bosses up to life and she's doing so many innovative things. I admire Dawn because she has the courage to be herself. And every time I've ever seen her, she just looks so elegant and stylish. And she has lots of brains behind the beauty. And you get to meet her tonight. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so happy to talk with you. So, let me just share a few of the things that you do. You have a book,
Yes.
you have a clothing line,
Yes.
you have a trend setting event and an experience called Socialite Detroit with the designer Rodney Howell.
Yes.
And I've gone to one of your parties and it was just an absolute extravaganza. It was just beautiful. Last holiday season, it was, oh my gosh, just lights and food and drink and people and music and poetry. Oh, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, I would like to introduce you, but first as an author. So, can you talk about your book and what it's all about?
Yeah. So, actually, I have it here. The
Mhm.
V. This book started off as just kind of like a book of poems. And it actually wasn't even a book. That was just like poetry that I would just write and just my thoughts
Mhm.
on paper. And as I wrote and just read the stories over and over again, I'm like, there's a something consistent here. There's a
Mhm.
story.
Mhm.
There's like a common ground, and that was like the searching. So this
Oh.
it was literally put together, and then I kind of like made it into one story for the searching, the seekers, the love. Like these are people who are trying to find love, but they're doing it through, or the protagonist, I should say, she's doing it through an erotic way. So it's like a romance erotica type book, but it's super thought provoking. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love it. So you have a website called I Am My City, which you can
Yes.
see at Dawn's Instagram page, which is Dawn Patterson Vision on Instagram. And there's a piece on here about the book that is so brilliant. Where is it? Oh my gosh, I just had it. I loved it so much. Let me find it. But in the interim, can you talk about what inspired you in your personal life story that helped you evolve into this sort of Renaissance woman doing all these wonderful things?
So my life story, as far as just like the creative visions, the different things that I'm into,
Yes.
I've always been, I would say, a seeker, and not necessarily for love, that too, but also just like trying to figure myself out. Who am I? I've
Mm.
learned uh, over the years to be like my authentic true self. And I've always been a creative. I've always been a visionary. Things that would pop in my head. And it's so interesting because I was surrounded, family members, my friends are all scholars, and just trying to figure myself out and just being the creative one that's like thinks outside the box. You're always looked at as different. So
Hmm.
literally over the years, I had to just figure it out. And it came with the obstacles of life and the journey. Just figuring
Uh-huh.
myself out is the main thing. And experiences helps as well.
So, how did you do that? Because the word authentic is something that we're all striving for, but many of us are
Yeah,
so caught up in external influences. It's
absolutely.
difficult to find out who am I? What am I supposed to do with my life? How did you figure that out?
It's been a journey, and I'm still on that journey. I honestly feel like you have to ask yourself those hard questions. Who am I? What is my purpose? And to be your authentic true self is not necessarily you're reacting off of emotions, but you're digging deeper. You're getting to know, you're spending time alone with yourself. and you're getting to
Mhm.
know your true self and, the things that you truly like to do, the things that are very interesting, the people that you like to be around. And you can kind of figure yourself out from that point, because obviously our environment is has a heavy influence on us. Parents, just, I mean, it just, it's a wide range of just different experiences that will influence you. You just have to quiet
Mhm.
the noise. And that's what I had to do. I literally had to quiet
Yes.
the noise.
Oh, I love that so much. I love how you use the word seeker because I found the passage. It's about your
Okay.
book. The V, I'm just going to read a little bit. The V is a book of stories recounting deep, dark, romantic events. The
Mhm.
experience of our protagonist is real and deeply resonates with the searching, the seekers of today. She leads us through a nuanced but vigorous approach into the bliss and blunder of a modern day love story, a sensual reality distilled down to delicately be arranged in a montage of moments.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved that so much. It's
Thank
just
you.
elegant like you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's beautifully, beautifully written. So, Dawn, can you talk about how you wrote this book? So, what is the mission of the book? Is it to entertain? Is it to inspire, educate?
All the above. The goal
Mhm.
is to, because when I talk about the book, or when people see, oh, it's the V, they automatically go to the erotica portion of it. It's so much
Mm,
more than that. So much
mhm,
more. It is
mhm,
very thought provoking, and it helps you identify what self discipline looks like. I feel like through the stories, people can identify not all of them, but some of them, and realize, or I should say, bring to light some of their flaws and what they can do better, and just to know that they're not alone. Because a lot of people
mm,
don't talk about that. We don't talk about our experiences overall.
mhm.
Each and every single one, we do talk about them overall, but not in detail in each and every one. And this book kind of dives deep into that.
Do you classify it as erotica?
It I don't like labels, but if it has to have one,
Okay.
yes, but it's very thought provoking.
Mm.
Yes.
I love it because my book, Husbands Incorporated, is like that. It's raw
Yeah.
language, raw sex. However, very powerful, intelligent messages about my beliefs about monogamy, relationships, marriage. But some people can't see past the graphic content to get the
Okay.
message. And the graphic content partly is the message
Yes.
because in order to hear it in a certain way, it's not ladylike. you know?
Yeah.
So I feel you. We are spirit sisters as writers on that level. I
Oh,
love it.
awesome.
So the first time I met you was at one of my favorite places, Central Kitchen and Bar. Shout out to Dennis Archer Jr. And I just saw you as this stunning woman. And then the more I got to know you, I'm like, wow, I love her so much. She's such an example of how women can be brilliant, beautiful at the same time. So
Absolutely.
what's your advice to women, Dawn, about how to find our personal style that looks effortless like yours? You don't look like you're trying. It just looks like you're just naturally comfortable with yourself.
There's layers that I feel like you have to identify. The first layer, and this is going to go deep.
Okay.
The first layer, it's really within. It's being comfortable in your own skin.
Mhm.
So it's really kind of like knowing who you are or what you desire. Because some people are in a transition phase. They're like, I can do better. I want to do better, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. And they kind of wear this mask. But as long as you can identify those things, you can kind of work on that. And that's still kind of, I just focusing on within oneself, I should say. I
Mhm.
feel like for me, like I know who I am and I love myself, and it starts with self-love. I feel like
Ah.
that's how it is, because that's it exudes a certain level of confidence
Mhm.
that you have when you love yourself and you start
Mm,
there.
mhm.
Absolutely, 100%.
So when you say go within, is that through any particular tool or practice such as journaling, meditation, prayer, something like
All the
that?
above. I would say all the above. I would definitely say meditation has helped me. And I can't honestly say that I can truly meditate, but I do quiet. I stay quiet. One of my favorite books that's like my Bible is the 12, I think it's the 12 or 7 universal laws to success. And it has
Mhm,
nothing to do, and it's by Deepak Chopra.
mhm,
It
mhm.
has nothing to do with the success that society knows as success, as far as monetary money, but it has everything to do with oneself. And it's such a powerful book. I recommend that book to
I
anyone.
have it.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
You do. Yes.
That's
It,
one of the first spiritual books I ever bought.
same here. Same here. The
Wow.
very first one. And
Mhm.
that's like my thing now. Like I love them.
Wow, that's powerful. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. I also love that you say that the answers are within because,
Oh,
on Instagram, you look so beautiful and stylish, and then that's all external and visual, but the real answers, the real truth is inside. And spirit is our true power. Spirit has no color, spirit
yeah.
has no designer labels, spirit has no name. It's just pure, beautiful energy. And when
Mm,
you tap into that, which you've clearly done, that's when you step out into your true self in the world,
yeah. I agree
and you're
100.
doing that. Mhm.
Okay.
So, Dawn, what's your mission? What's your big dream? What's your goal?
Well, to fulfill my purpose, as of right now, my big dream and goal, I should say, overall, is to fulfill my purpose. I honestly feel like through creativity, because I got to know who I am and what is my purpose. And it doesn't necessarily end there, but it helps me on this journey. And
Mhm,
my end goal is to help others. Like that
mhm,
is my end goal. And I know
mhm,
that I can do that through
mhm,
creativity. So yeah, like
mhm,
I honestly feel that helping others is something that's like my goal in life.
mhm. So, your purpose is helping others, but in what capacity? As a creative, does that mean a multimedia um, empire, books, clothing, social media? What does that look like?
All the above. It looks what I feel like is if the vision comes to my mind, I execute. I don't sleep
Mhm,
on it anymore. I used to. I used to allow others to kind of come in like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, I don't understand how that's going to work. That doesn't make any sense because no one can see your vision but you. No one, and I honestly feel like when the vision comes, I'll know and I'll act on it. So
mhm,
I want to be able to just help people, but honestly, you can't help all. Like through the creativity, I'm going to be able to communicate with some, with
mhm,
most. And to me, that's in my way, helping people.
mhm. I absolutely love that. And many, many people need your guidance right now because 2020, the year of the coronavirus pandemic, has been extremely challenging. But one blessing of the slowdown, lockdown, shutdown has been forcing us to get still and silent in solitude to figure things out like you have been doing.
Yeah.
So, what's your advice to people to use what many call a negative as a positive to go within into the workshop of self and figure things out as we move into the new year?
To do it.
Do it.
We procrastinate, we fill our lives with busy work, whether it's working the 9 to 5 that you have to do because we all have to eat, taking care of children, whether you're whatever it is, the extra activities that you have going on, or you just dive deep into a book or shows, we have all this noise. And I feel like we have to make time for ourselves. And I had to learn that because I was always on the go, like always workaholic. And I still have those same work ethics, but I got quiet and I got still. And this time, it forces you to kind of isolate yourself. You're not going out, you're really not dating. I mean, everyone's situation is different, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, most of us
Mm-hmm.
have to be with ourselves. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's
Mm-hmm.
just really taking the time out and forcing yourself to ask those hard questions. And even if you're praying or meditating, you want to think about those questions. Who
Mm-hmm.
am I? What's my purpose? And be still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you journal when you do that?
After, not
After.
during, but after. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
try to stay quiet. In the Deepak Chopra book, The Seven Universal Laws of Success, like that was the one thing. I've always been a quiet person. I've learned to obviously speak up more as you get older, you get more confident, but I've always been a quiet person, but I've never really been silent. And to be silent is so powerful. It's extremely powerful. And when I did that, and just you purposely are silent, and only when you speak is like necessary, only when it's necessary, right? I
Yes.
did that, and it's literally the voice in your head gets louder, and you start acting with intention, and you have clarity. It is so powerful, and I just
Wow.
recommend that, to be silent.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 1000%. I've been meditating for 10 years and I teach meditation now to help other people achieve that
Yeah.
inner discovery that
Mhm.
is transformative.
Yeah.
So here's a fun thing. After the Spanish flu pandemic ended after 1918, remember? And then it lasted a few years. But then after it ended, and it did end,
Yeah.
what came next? The Roaring 20s.
20, everyone partied.
So
Oh, it's coming.
it's
It's
coming, but
definitely coming.
now's the time to figure out who do we want to be when it's time to step out in the sparkly dress or the high
Yes,
heels again and
yes,
the hair and make and just go out to a party, go out to a big celebration. Who and when the business world opens up physically,
yeah.
who do you want to step out and be as a
Mhm.
creative, as an entrepreneur, as just a citizen?
Yeah.
It's time to figure that out. So, Dawn, can you offer any other advice to women, especially who are waking up from their lives during this time and saying, you know what, this is not working. I want to be different. How can I reinvent myself?
So if they're asking themselves that question, I honestly feel like then you're at a place where, because we're always evolving and growing, and sometimes we're forced into a certain lifestyle depending on if we've got a child young or married young, or, just our circumstances change and we grow. So that's a good thing when you're asking yourself that, because that means that you're ready to go to the next level.
Mhm.
I kind of tend to get off track on subjects. So sometimes you kind of like bring me back.
Uh-huh.
What is my focus question? What was the
Oh,
question?
right now?
Yes.
Oh, sure, absolutely. It's about guidance to women who wake up, and especially during all the circumstances. For example, the divorce rate has gone up 34% during the
Yeah.
pandemic at the beginning of it. It might be higher now. So women are realizing, I don't want to be in this marriage, or I don't like this job, or maybe their job dried up or shifted because of the COVID.
Yes.
So for women who are waking up and saying, I want to change, I want something new, but I don't know what to do. How do I find the real me? And so my question to you was, how can women figure that out? You already said go within, but in the context of the pandemic and the new year looming, when there's all this new hope and optimism, what do you recommend women do to figure it out?
do whatever you have to do to gain confidence. Have faith in yourself. So whether that's I personally love the fact that I live a healthy lifestyle. That's just my thing. From what I eat to the people I have around me, all of that matters. So whatever it is that the woman you need to do to feel confident, because you're going to need that confidence to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you look within, but at the same time, if it's going to the gym, if it's changing up, your hair or your wardrobe, just focusing on yourself and doing what makes you happy, even sometimes having a piece of chocolate can make one happy. Have that chocolate, whatever it is that you need to do to make you feel good,
Mm-hmm.
the music, and then write your goals down. I don't care if you don't have a plan. I don't care if you don't even know or understand how you're going to get there. Write it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's writing it down is so powerful. I can't. Sometimes it took a lot of things that I've written down that I'm seeing come to light now to fruition. I've written like 5 years ago,
Wow.
10 years
Oh,
ago.
I have chills.
Yeah. I
Wow.
wrote that I wanted to be an author 10 years ago.
Wow.
So it may not happen right away. And for some, it could happen the next day,
Mm-hmm.
but write it down and prepare yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
you're getting ready. So as long as you stay ready, you don't have to get ready when the opportunities come. So that's how I
Mm-hmm.
see
I love that. Can you
it.
talk about naysayers, sometimes called haters, who try to
Yeah.
discourage or criticize or say, "Who do you think you are?" Even if it's a family member?
You have to distance yourself. Distance yourself from negative people, negative energy. Sometimes you can just feel it. And when you feel it, okay, I need, sometimes it's a close friend. And the conversation, not all the time has to happen. If it's obviously your husband or someone that's in the home with you, you're going to have that conversation. Or you're
Mm.
going to have to start asking yourself the real question,
Mhm.
is it worth it?
Mhm.
However, distance yourself and don't buy into it, and then it should kind of boost boost your confidence, because you know you're onto something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
like I said, people are they don't understand what's in your head, what's in your heart. Only you understand and know
Mhm.
that. So you just have to
Mhm.
keep moving forward. That's how I see it. Just keep
Mm.
moving forward.
I love that. What's the inner dialogue that you have if you face some kind of criticism? And also, how do you refrain from comparing? Because when we compare, we despair. And on social media and in different social circles, it's so easy to compare and feel less than or have a ding to our confidence. How do you protect yourself from that, Dawn?
So I definitely distance myself from negativity. Um, I always combat things with a positive response
Uh-huh.
to let the person know, like, we're not on the same page. you
Oh, what's
know?
an example of that?
So if someone says something negative or they're talking about someone, I always point out the positive in the situation. And then
Mhm.
I force myself to see the positive in every situation, even in people.
Mm.
So instead of going to the negative or about something, I
Mhm.
instantly go to the positive. And sometimes if I see a negative, I'll force myself to even think positive, because the tables can turn instantly. We could be that person, and it's just not worth it to just like have that negativity within you.
Mm.
So I
Mhm.
just try to stay positive.
Mhm.
I try to surround myself around the same like-minded people,
Mhm.
and I don't know, I just feel like if you if you start to feed yourself, because when you eat healthy, you're feeding your body healthy food, right?
Mhm.
When you have to think about the same thing when you have certain people in your lives and the content that you watch on
Yes. Yes,
television.
yes.
I
Yes.
don't watch certain shows, especially the reality shows, certain ones, because of the negative content, and it does have an effect on you. You'll notice yourself arguing more. You'll notice yourself in a negative mood or talking about someone, and it's really because you're feeding your mind this, and it's a subconscious thing. So I try to I literally filter the shows I watch. It's just self-discipline. And even with social media, I follow certain people on purpose, whether it's inspiration or I just like the content that the person has, but I do make sure that it's aligned with who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to compare yourself. Don't ever compare yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're saying, oh, that's a goal. Like, I love her body. How can I work out? Or I love that dress. Where can I get that at? But not, I don't compare myself. We're all different and we're all beautiful.
I agree with you 1000% on that one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's very difficult for some people to not compare. So thank you for that guidance.
Yeah.
So, what's next for you? Like, what's your big vision for 2021?
Oh, 2021 is to execute my visions,
Uh,
continue to execute my visions and take them to the next level. My book to sell millions and millions of copies. I Am My City is turning into a whole new level, which
Mhm.
is super exciting because I'm transitioning not just an apparel line, but it's also going to be like a marketplace for community products. So these are like
Ooh.
real products from people, not drop ship, not AliExpress. These are just like really quality products. So I'm super excited about that project.
Mhm.
And also my vision, I Am My City, I started a nonprofit, I Am My City Parks. I'm super
Ooh.
excited to execute that plan as far
Mhm.
as just bringing art parks to the city of Detroit. So
Okay, I am my city parks, and you're bringing
parks,
art into the city parks.
yes,
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. So people can visit iammycity.com,
yes,
and that has a menu of your clothing line and the other endeavors that are involved, correct?
yeah, it does.
So what's the mission of I Am My City? Is it to celebrate Detroit?
It is. It's a spirit wear company. So it's a celebrate, not necessarily Detroit because it is I Am My City. I do have I Am My City Detroit, obviously, but it is I Am My City. So it's different cities around the world. It's really to just bring communities together. Like that is the focus. It's just a form of community because it was started when Detroit, and as you know, we went through a very dark age. And that
Yes.
time, a lot of people left the city. Detroiters were blacklisted. Like the city, the whole entire city was just in ruins, pretty much.
Mhm.
And it was really to just bring communities together and bring people together and kind of like uplift your spirit. So,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping that I did that
Mm. Oh,
with
you
this.
do. I love it. It's I am Detroit. I am my
Yeah,
city.com.
yes. Like
Okay.
be proud, right?
Yes, yes, we all represent. I love that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And then where can people purchase your book, Dawn?
So right now it is on imycity.com. So you
Hmm.
can just purchase it right on that website.
Hmm.
I'm going to put up the e-version soon. So
Ooh.
yeah, that's definitely coming in the works. So that would probably be on like Amazon and iBooks.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Are you planning to write any more books?
I am. I have one working.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's
Yes.
awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you because I heard
Thank
you
you.
talking about this for so long and then you did it.
I know we would go back and forth, and I would always ask you. It's so funny because I don't know if you remember. I met you long before Central. So you were at your book release. I went to one of your book release, and I think it was called White Chocolate.
White chocolate. Yes.
And
Oh,
I
that
said,
was so
oh my,
long.
yes. I said, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I got your book. And I don't think we had like a conversation. It was more of like you were just friendly. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
like a one-on-one,
Uh-huh.
but you were great. And it's so funny that you're like, we're talking here.
I know, I love it. It's like full circle sisterhood. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
And now we're both authors.
yeah.
Dawn, that's so cool. That was a long time ago when my
That was
first
a
book.
very long time ago. I think it was like at the Lafayette Towers. It was some like downtown, like in
Oh,
the lobby.
oh
Yeah, it
yeah.
was like 2005, 6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's the perfect way to wrap this up because that just shows that you meet people in your life and you never know how significant they're going to be. So I inspired Dawn way back then as an author. She's inspired me all these years with her style and elegance and brilliance. And so here we are, both just sharing all the love and the creativity and the excitement and the power that we all as women have to do amazing things in life.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Dawn, is there any other thing you'd like to share about what we can all do to be our most powerful selves?
Um, be your authentic self. I feel like you gain confidence through being authentic to yourself and doing what makes you feel good. Like
Hmm.
when it exudes when you walk into a room, if you're happy, truly happy. And that's
Yeah.
really hard to get to. Like true happiness.
Yeah.
It's taken me so long to get there.
Hmm.
But just to be truly happy with yourself,
Mm.
then whatever
Well,
entails,
what was that?
get there. Whatever you have to do to get there,
Oh, yeah.
stay focused and get it done.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you exemplify that. I exemplify that. And I'm grateful that you're here tonight to show an example of how to exude that authentic self love and power that you can't put a price tag on it. You
No.
can't really put a label on it. It doesn't come from clothes or jewelry or dollar figures. It comes from spirit. And that's the most powerful part of ourselves. So thank you for being an example of that, Dawn.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate this.
You're so welcome. I wish you nothing but the absolute best success on every level of your life.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. And thank you, all of you, for joining us here tonight on Boss Up Goddess, where you get to meet amazing women like Dawn Patterson, who show us all how to live bigger, better, and bolder. If you're getting value out of this program, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live or upload a new video. Meanwhile, boss up, goddess, and remember, you have the power. I'll see you next time.